Sunday, everybody. Today we're going to do something pretty special, at least pretty special to me. You've all heard how long I've been around firearms and how long I've been shooting and how long I've owned firearms. Well, today we're going to take a look at the pistol that got all this started. I've been shooting this pistol since I was about 3 years old. I do not currently own this pistol. Probably one day I will. At least hopefully, because this pistol means more to me than anything I probably own at this point in time. There's so many memories that are involved in this pistol, and the person that owns this pistol right now is going through a difficult time, and he's got some medical issues, and we won't go into all that, but you know, he's just going through a difficult time. So appreciate any thoughts and prayers that you could send his way. But I do want to go over this and some of the memories I've got with this pistol here, and just tell y'all some stories. I don't know how long this video will be. I know I can be long-winded, but this pistol means a whole lot to me, and I may get carried away, and this thing may go 20 minutes, and I may not get carried away, and it may go 10 minutes. I don't know, but there is a lot of history in me in this pistol. So I don't know how much. I don't know if I'm gonna pick it up and hold it up here. I'm just going to show you down here, but I'll probably drop the camera a little bit. I may not show a lot of my face in this video, but the focus point of this video is not me. It is you know, the pistol and all the memories that go along with it. The guy that owns this pistol, like I said, is like a father to me. He couldn't be any closer than a father is. He helped raise me. You know, I was up there a lot of times more than I was at home. So I guess you could say he kind of made me the man that I am today. You know, I do believe a man's word is his bond, and this man taught me that. He taught me how to drive a car. He taught me how to play ball. So let's get on with this pistol, and I'm gonna turn the camera down and tell you a little bit more about it. Sorry if I keep coughing, it's kind of allergy season here. This is a Colt Series 3 Woodsman 22 long rifle with a 4-inch barrel. This gun was made from like 1955 to 1977. I'm not exactly sure which year this gun was made in. If I had to guess, I would say in the late 50s to early 60s. That's just my guess, but I'm not 100% sure. I've never tracked down the serial number on this firearm. As you can tell, this firearm is very well worn through the barrel and the slide area, and on the other side you can see the barrel's worn over here too, and you've got edges that are actually wore off. Let me go ahead and show you all. I did clear this weapon before I did this review, but all these, you know, worn places really mean a lot to me, because a lot of this is stuff that I've done, you know, carrying this gun through the woods, shooting this gun. This was probably the first gun that I ever fired in my entire life. At 3 years old, I was shooting this. I can remember sitting on the porch in North Carolina and actually shooting like laurel buds out of trees and stuff like that with this. Now, I probably wasn't doing that at 3, but you know, at 3 I was shooting Coke cans and stuff like that. But at 5 years old and stuff, I was using this gun to shoot laurel buds out of trees, and you know, rocks out of the bank, and you know, just anything I could shoot. I've always had, you know, I guess kind of an infatuation with firearms, and you know, I've always owned firearms, and I learned how to respect firearms at an early age, and this was one of the ones that really taught me how to do that. We'll go over some of the features of this firearm, and I'll tell you some of the stuff about it. It does have a manual safety right here. If you see, you pull that, slide works like any other safety. When you push this up, what engages the safety is this little lever right here actually goes into an indent on the slide, and it doesn't allow it to come back. Also, on the last round, if you'll see here, when you pull it back, it does have a slide stop right here. You just push that little lever down, the slide will go back forward. Of course, it's not ambidextrous, because, you know, back then, this 22s mainly aren't ambidextrous anyway, but back then they didn't have a lot of ambidextrous guns. The magazine release is actually on down here on the bottom of the butt of the pistol. You just flip that and the magazine slides out, and you slide it back up in there. Now the 22s, a lot of them do have, you know, this little lever that pulls down here to help load them. And you just push it back in there like that. It does have like a target style grip where your thumb ramp is, so you can actually set your thumb on that. I shoot thumbs forwards, so this right here kind of impedes my grip a little bit, but not bad enough to make a difference. A lot of you, if you've ever seen one of these, will say that front sight looks different, and it does. The front sight, this is actually a solid piece of silver up here on top. There was one of his buddies back in the day actually made a custom front sight for this. I really like this a lot better because it really helps take a lot finer bead. It helps aid in accuracy because you can take that finer bead and your front sight doesn't cover the target all the way like some of the wider sights do. I've made some pretty incredible shots with this gun. Before we get into that, you can see how much wear has been on this. If you had all the ammo that I've put through this one particular firearm, I'm not sure you could carry it in the bed of my Tundra. I've just shot thousands upon thousands upon thousands of rounds through this firearm. It still shoots good. The barrel, you know, isn't shot out of it or anything like that. Lands and grooves are still in good shape. So that just, you know, shows how well Colt crafted their guns back then. This gun was actually designed by John Moses Browning back in the day, who is an incredible gun designer. He also designed the 1911 and actually the 50 BMG that sits on top of Hummers today. He designed that, and it's still in the military today. So that says a lot for Mr. John Browning's, you know, skills in designing firearms, because we've not designed anything better to go on top of Hummers since he designed that back in the day. Like I said, all these wear marks really mean a lot to me. I can remember going squirrel hunting back when I was like 4 and 5 years old, and having this with me and carrying it through the woods. Of course, I had a 22 rifle, but you know, just carrying a pistol meant a lot to me back then as a kid. And I was really taught how to respect firearms with this, and how to always keep my muzzle pointed in a safe direction, and always keep my finger off the trigger, and you know, treat all guns as if they're loaded. That got embedded into me as in a very early age, starting with this right here. You know, from shooting, like I said, from shooting just cans and rocks out of the bank to, you know, crows, I made one of the most incredible shots that I've ever made, and that I've almost ever seen made, and it was pure luck. I have no lies to tell. It's not skill when you make a shot like this, but the guy that owns this gun actually was there to witness this shot, and it was a stupid shot. And we were over in the garden, and the crows had been eating the corn, and there were some crows flying over, and they were probably 150 yards away. They were a long way. They were small. A dime would have covered them. They were so far away. And I said, I'm going to shoot one of them birds down. And I probably wasn't but about 12 or 14 years old. And the guy that has this, you know, he just kind of chuckled. He didn't think it would ever happen. And I led that bird several feet, and I pulled that trigger, and that bird hit the ground. Now, there was no luck or no skill involved in that at all. That was, you know, all luck, because you don't hit birds flying at that distance with a 22 ever. But I do have a witness to that, or I wouldn't have told that story, because nobody would believe it anyway, especially not with a 4-inch barrel Colt. Not saying this gun don't shoot good, because this gun is incredible. I've split very, very many playing cards with this Colt over the years. So it shoots extremely well, but a shot like that don't happen very often, and that's one of the shots that I'll always remember, no matter if I own this gun or not. I'll always remember that shot. This gun has more sentimental value to me than anything I've ever owned, or anything that I will ever own, because one reason I've went through so many firearms in my life, that I can't even tell you how many I've went through, but this has always been the most special one of all of them, just because of the history of it and who owns it. It it doesn't always just come back to I learned how to shoot on this. Yeah, I did, and that's great. But this is his favorite gun also. He always said this gun never had a price, and to me, it definitely never does not have a price. There's no amount of money that buys this firearm. I know you can buy these. I think they're probably around $800 or $900 for a very good example of this. And if you can find them with a box, you might even pay more than $900 if it's 100% and you have a box with it. But I would not trade this for 10 new ones just because of what all I've been through with this. The gun is very, very smooth. I guess over time you put thousands of rounds through something. I mean, it's got to be smooth, and it's not been cleaned very much at all. But you can just see how smooth it is. The springs have never been changed out in this slide. No springs in the gun have ever been changed. It's bone stock. We have bought a new magazine, but this is only the second magazine that's ever been bought for this gun, and this magazine stays loaded 100% of the time. And the spring in it's still in good shape. I'm not sure if he still has the other magazine. If he does, I may try to find a spring for it. I believe the Colt Cadet magazines will also fit this firearm, but they were stainless, which doesn't make a difference either way. But I do believe it is the same magazine that the Colt Cadet took, and they quit making those also, I think, in the 90s sometime. It does have a very, very fine rear sight notch cut in too. And I used to have one called a Huntsman, and it was the same year and everything, but it didn't have the thumb groove. It wasn't quite as nice a pistol, but it had a wider rear notch and a lot wider front notch. So all the sights have been customed on this gun right here. I don't know what else I can say about this gun. There's just so much history that involved in this and with me in this firearm that I will never forget, no matter how old I am. I've bought several guns since I've owned this, and like I said, I don't even know how many I've owned since I was 3, but it is a ton. But like I said, none of them, no AR-15s, no Glocks or Berettas or SIGs or anything will ever come close to what this gun right here means to me. And I've had guns given to me also as gifts and stuff like that. And that's several of them. I can't say some. I've had several firearms given to me by several different people over the years. And even this one in particular, man that owns this, has also given me some firearms. But even they don't mean as much as this does. I'm not looking to get rid of anything like that, because anything anybody gives you as a present always has sentimental value to it. But they'll never mean what this gun right here means to me. The bank in North Carolina at the house over there, if you had as much lead that's in that bank as what's been shot out of this gun, you could probably almost start your own smelting lead company or something. I mean, it'd be ridiculous to think how many rounds I've put through this. And not just me, but him, but it's ridiculous how many rounds I put through this myself. But I wanted to show this gun to you all and just kind of give you a brief history of it. I know this video is going on over 10 minutes, but this wasn't an actual review of this gun, and I'll probably do some reviews, not really views over the summer, but I'll probably actually do some shooting with this gun over the summer. I'll do more shooting videos when the summer comes by, when I get outside. It's actually raining now, kind of sleeting a little bit here. But when it warms up, I'll do more shooting stuff and have shooting videos on also, and this gun will be involved in that. But I just wanted to share something that was very special to me with you guys, and just give you some stories behind it. I was carrying this one day when I was about 5 or 6 years old in the woods, squirrel hunting, and we'd done that so many times through our lives, went squirrel hunting back up in North Carolina. And I told him, I said, you know, I just wish we'd get lost in here. And he tells this story a lot. That's one reason I'm telling it. And he was like, Bud, why would you want to get lost up in the mountains? And I was like, so I wouldn't have to go to school anymore. I hated school. But even at that age, I hated school, and I didn't want to go. But as you can see here, it does say Woodsman. It's got the little horse on it. Anything that's got that little horse on it, you know, is a good piece of equipment. Colt always made good guns. I've got a Colt AR-15. I've owned a Huntsman just made identical to this basically, and I own 12 or 13 Colt 1911s, and most of them were custom. And you know, Colt's just always made a good product. So especially with this one and the memories that go along with it. So that's kind of been my short review and long story about this gun. I hope it didn't bore you too much. I just really wanted to show y'all what got it started. You know, a lot of people ask me about my first gun and stuff like that, and what their first gun should be and what they should teach their kids to shoot and stuff like that. Well, this is what I learned how to shoot as a kid. It was easy to use. The slide was you know, light enough to where I could actually rack it as a kid. So, you know, if you're looking for something, maybe not necessarily, you know, one of these, because these are really hard to find. If you do, they're really expensive. But you know, something like this along the lines, maybe a cadet or something, if you can find one. But if you really want to find one of these, you can do it. They're on Gun Broker, and they're on other places. I have seen them at gun shows and stuff like that. They're just really rare. And I just want to say, you know, the every wear mark on this gun, I can look back and think about how it probably got there, and some of them I know how they got there, and just the memories that go along with it. So thank you for watching this video. Thank you for letting me show you the first firearm I ever shot, and how much it means to me and how much it will always mean to me. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. I know I've talked kind of soft, mainly because this has a soft place in my heart. I hope y'all have a great day, and we'll see you next time.